Stories of teenage pregnancy.
Firstly, most of teenage pregnancy are unintentional. Women of all age may have unattended pregnancies, but some groups, such as teens, at higher risk. A lot of teenagers who become pregnant but sometimes wish they weren't. This happen because they either don't want to become a parents or they know that it's not the right time. So by the time that they find out that they are pregnant, they start stressing out. And also because they don't want their parents to know or to find out. Do you still remember when you were 9 years old, studying, creating happy memories, playing, laughing with our friends, and those happy childhood memories that you want to go back to? So, teenage pregnancy refers to young women between 10 to 19 years of age. And they face a lot of challenges and problems of being a teenage mom. So as I heard a story of my friend who got pregnant at an early age because of this violent truth and sexual abuse. She told me that she was raped by his father-in-law. So the evidence shows that in many places that the girls are the greatest exposure violence within the context of sexual relationship. So based on my research, during a forum of teenage pregnancy, Philippine Legislative Committee on Population Development Executive Director Romeo Donjeto said that a lot of early pregnancies may be attributed to abuse and forced sex or rape. Yes, it's very sad, of course, because this kind of incidents that happen in our fellow women. So teenage pregnancy is a very serious problem. And also, teenage pregnancy is the biggest problem women in the Philippines. So as I heard a story again that I've known lately, that her name is Lovely. She lives in a slum environment. So as I've noticed, the causes of being pregnant at an early age because of this peer pressure. And also their parents are not concerned about them and they even let them to send school. So these girls are usually coming from a lower income household and they already struggling financially due to their situation that they were born. The child that they have to carry should be born because abortion is still illegal in our country. The only one thing that these girls can do is to get drunk, sex, and having fun with their friends. And they cannot buy any contraceptive because they are too young and they are not allowed to use it. The only one thing that the root of this problem of teenage pregnancy is lack of sex education. Because as Filipinos, we are still uneducated about the proper use of contraceptive and essentially safe sex. And as for the lack of sex education, there must be an active push to normalize, to talk about sex. So as I observe, lack of opportunity and hope for their future. And it must be identified as a driving force behind high rates of teenage pregnancy. So I did a research about the currency status of teenage pregnancy in the Philippines. So the result of my research about the currency status of teenage pregnancy, the Philippines has recorded a total of 180,916 live births among the adolescents aged 10 to 19 in 2019. So according to the data from the Civil Registration and Vital Statistics System of the Philippine Statistic Authority, this is equivalent to 495 live birth per day and 10 to 19 age group. So only 3% of all live birth among the adolescents of age group are fathered by men and of the same age group. So based on the data of January 2020 policy brief by the United Nations Population Fund Philippines, such as pregnancies, according to the briefer, may be a result of coercion and unequal power relations between girls and older men. The COVID-19 global outbreak is quite challenging, and the school closure is one of the factors for the cause of teenage pregnancy. So as school close, girls are most likely to drop out of education and not return. So from a Department of Science, Technology, and National Research Council of the Philippines, or DOST-NRCP. This is another story. Again, her name is Angel. She was my close friend. They are being vulnerable to early pregnancy since they are out of the usual physical stories setting of the school environment. So all of their stories was lead to teenage pregnancy, but we didn't know the story behind it. So the most important is that they can recover, and someone who finally be there to hold their hand and not let it be their downfall. So it was very important also that there's someone who support and give them a motivation, and that there's someone that to overcome the situation with the right support from their family or friends. So I, as someone who apparently survived the teenage journey without getting pregnant, would like to say something. So not just to the young girls out there, but also to hungry men and fine adults. Not because we have nothing to do to the productivity this time of pandemic, then we allow ourselves to produce, have our breathing. So we have social media accounts. Use it for positively, and don't let the negativity and the other sinful acts that is shown there gets into you. Instead, use this to spread awareness, joyful events, positive experience, and other things that can help us to develop ourselves. So as an individual, that will help us to become a fine, mature, decent members of the society. Of course, being pregnant is a blessing for most, but not for all, especially for those people who are not planned or not even wish for to become a pregnant. So thank you.